Western New York Varsity Federation Hockey from Memorial Auditorium in Buffalo, New York, the home of the Buffalo Sabres. It will be the St. Francis Red Raiders taking on the St. Joseph's Marauders. I'm Walter Sears along with Larry Playfair. And Larry, we have the number 1 and 2 teams in New York State going at it.
Well, this should be a good game. Unfortunately, these guys got the early draw and they're playing the first game of the day, but I expect a pretty good hockey game out here.
Well, the luck of the draw, St. Joe's and St. Francis both were 12-0-2 in their respective league. However, overall, St. Joe's is 20-0-2, undefeated. St. Francis is 19-3-2. St. Joe's is ranked number 1 because of their undefeated record. They played twice, Larry, a 1-1 tie and a 3-3 tie.
All the more reason that we should see out here an excellent hockey game. They've got some good kids that have, in a very short period of time, have come to the top of the pile. And St. Joe's probably, because they're ranked number 1, but just because of the way they played all season, would be odds-on favorite today. But how could you say that when they've both got the record against each other? They're both tied.
That's right. It's an even game, and you, of course, a professional hockey player, know that St. Francis will look for the revenge factor now to try and knock off the number 1 team. They're keyed by their goaltender, Jason Bladzinski. He'll wear number 30. And Jason is a senior. He's a 150-pounder, about 5'9". Not a big guy, but he plays well in between the pipes. As a team, they've given up only 25 goals in 14 games in their league play. So he is the key player, at least stop-wise, defensively, for St. Francis. Now, St. Joe's, they have a couple excellent scorers, but one in particular.
Well, Tom Devins is probably the key guy for St. Joe's, and he's the guy that in just 14 games, this guy comes up with 39 points, 19 goals, and 20 assists. This is the guy that St. Francis is going to have to key on. They're going to have to keep an eye on this guy and try, if they can, to keep him off the scoreboard. We'll have to see if that can happen.
Well, it will be a running clock, and I believe it's 15-minute periods. It's in for an interesting game. The only downside about the thing, Larry, is the kids playing the 9 o'clock game, this being the marquee game so early.
Well, and typically this game was played later in the day, usually around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And just luck of the draw, they've moved this game up in a rotation manner, and they're going to play this game first thing. That just happens to be the way it's going to work today.
It should be a great contest. Rick Zurek will be ice side, and when we come back, he's going to preview the 2 goaltenders. And we'll be right back with the starting lineups and then some more pregame between St. Francis and St. Joe's right after this.
Why it is, but there doesn't have.
Wait a second. It's not Karen, it's Cynthia.
I like my beats funky.
It's Claire.
Digital cable radio, 19 different music channels with CD sound and no commercials for the perfect music, regardless of your passion.
Venus.
Hi.
Digital cable radio. It's cable for your stereo. Call your cable company.
Well, we're back at Memorial Auditorium, and both clubs have been introduced, and as in every sporting contest, there are keys to the game, and now we'll take a look at the keys in this game for St. Joe's to win, Larry.
Well, they've got a strong attack, but they're going to have to keep that going in order for them to have a chance over St. Francis. Their defense is a fairly good defense. Obviously, you don't get to the top of the pile having a mediocre defense, and St. Joe's comes in with that. They've got to stay focused. Sometimes when you're the lead squad, you're the big dog, the top of the pile, you have a tendency to maybe relax a little bit. I can tell you that John Mickler, the coach this year for St. Joe's, will not allow his players to be off focus.
And for St. Francis to win number 1, their key, as we keyed on Bladzinski, Bladzinski has to have a solid game in the between the pipes, and I see no reason, Larry, why he can't. He's been playing well all year. Play 5-on-5, do the best they can with that situation, and do the best they can. Obviously, shoot it in the net. That's what they have to do. They've scored only 4 goals in 2 games against St. Joe's. Larry, your thoughts before we go down and preview the goaltenders with Rick Zurek? Well, we'll go down to Rick right now and take a look at the goaltenders for this game.
Thanks a lot, guys. Let me tell you about the biggest thing in this game. Right now, you have to talk about the goalies, because when you get to a championship game, the goaltenders make all the difference. And this year, we've got the same goaltenders we had last year. Pat Berger for St. Joe's, he's got a lot to prove because, well, not really a lot to prove, but he wants to avenge the loss from last year. He gave up the winning goal in overtime to St. Francis. He wants to make a little restitution for that one. Jason Bladzinski, a super hot goalie for St. Francis. He's also the defending goalie, the same goalies they won the championship with last year. So watch out for the goalies. Both wear number 30, Berger and Bladzinski.
our national anthem, and Larry Playfair along with Rick Zurich and Walter Sears, and we're ready for this exciting hockey game. And if it's anything but a close, exciting contest and possibly even stretch it to overtime, we'd be surprised if it was a blowout one way or another. It doesn't seem in the cards. They're pretty evenly matched teams.
Well, last year these two teams hooked up, and it was an exciting game right down to the wire. So I would expect at least the same, and perhaps an overtime opportunity here. You never know. Championship hockey. This is what it's all about. You go through the season, and yeah, it's nice for St. Joe's to be on top of the pile, and St. Francis certainly had a strong season by any measure. But when you get to the championship game, buddy, this is what it's all about. This should be a darn good hockey game.
And St. Joe's will be in the lighter color uniforms, as you see there, the white tops and very sharp uniforms. St. Francis in their traditional red, the Red Raiders. And the two officials, Bob Albano and Gary Panic. There is John Mickler, the head coach of St. Joe's. Of course, John very involved throughout hockey in Western New York.
Well, John's a big key, and he's one of the guys that got this Federation hockey off the ground, Walt, and he's been a key to them. And this guy here with his hard work has got this St. Joe's team to the finals, and we expect some good things again.
There's the finalists from last year, Lair.
Well, St. Joe's and St. Francis, now that was the last game of the day last year, and I'm going to tell you, that was an excellent hockey game. And there was a lot of people in this building. I think only because of the time of the day it is, we don't have as many people as you would otherwise expect for a game like this. This is going to be a good contest.
And you've seen the finalists from last year, 4 games. Same as this year. This is the Western New York Hockey Federation championship game, and off the face-off, the first shot of the game, and an easy save there for Pat Berger. Pat Berger is a rangy guy. He's 6'2" and 155. St. Francis momentarily had the puck, and St. Joe's now coming up the ice. It's shot down over center ice and into the St. Francis end. We'll see how they keep the pressure on early. Both of these teams, they played 2 low-scoring games coming in here. Pass a little bit too far for the St. Francis player, and we have a whistle and a stop and play. 15-minute periods.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for the folks at home watching, wondering, why is this going to be such a shortened game? It is because there are going to be 3 15-minute periods, and I guess the guys expect that. They've played that way in this tournament. The players I'm talking about have played that way and certainly know what it's all about. But for the folks that are just watching this game and tuning in, wondering what the deal is, that's the deal.
And this faceoff will come to the right of Blazinski. That passed a little bit too far for Starzyk, and it went across the 2 lines. They brought it back for a faceoff. Played only 35 seconds and no score thus far. No real chances. That goes across the crease. Number 2 is Jeff Bernaz for St. Francis. He couldn't get it out. Here's an opportunity for St. Joe's. A shot, and it's shot wide by Thomas Buckley, who is their second leading scorer, and Larry an excellent chance.
He had that obviously the best chance of the day so far, but it's still early, and I expect we'll see some more of this stuff.
Bernaz clears it past center ice, and it's Dan Toole, number 6, dropped it for Murphy. Pass a little wide, and 16, Chris Adams got it up to his man on the right wing, Thomas Buckley, right in front. A great save by the goaltender, Jason Blazinski. That was a great opportunity for St. Joe's. Now, they just missed there. So 2 golden scoring opportunities for St. Joe's, and the player we featured, Larry Blazinski, came up with a fine save.
He's going to be the key guy in the game today, Walt. If he has a strong game, St. Francis has a chance of winning this thing.
Well, he's already had 2 great saves early in this contest. 16 of Starzyk, one of the leading scorers for St. Francis, had it poke checked away. Radchek flips it around the boards and behind the St. Joe's netminder. St. Francis keeping the pressure on. This is number 10, Kacineni, and Kacineni clears it to center ice. He's got a tough name to pronounce, and here's a 3-on-2 developing for St. Francis, but a good poke check, and it's knocked away by St. Francis to center ice. For 23, Thomas Worth could not control at the center ice area. Now here's St. Joe's. Player coming up the right wing, Kacineni, and Kacineni flipped it in behind the goaltender, Blazinski. Good check there. St. Joe's throwing their weight around, and they come up with the loose puck. A shot, and Blazinski got a piece of it. It steered to the corner. Well, St. Joe's with some good checking on this series, and they steal it again. St. Joe's controlling the action. A shot wide. Steve Gowan. Good opportunity there. It's fanned on by DeGilio and out to center ice. Well, all the action in the St. Francis end right now, Larry. St. Joe's really peppering Blodzinski.
Well, there's no question at this point St. Joe's has had the better chances and certainly put on the pressure, but St. Francis didn't get up to number 2 just by a fluke, and I would expect them to turn it on here relatively soon.
Well, for the first 3 minutes, St. Joe's has had the better of the play. Gomez had it taken away from him for St. Joe's. Number 14, Caniglio, up ice to Golder. Golder is written off the play by Dan Toole. And now St. Joe's will not get it out of their own end as it's kept in by Mike Teft of St. Francis under the right corner boards. Opportunity for St. Francis to the point. Collar in shot, and that whistles. It's deflected wide. Out to the point again. Kept in by St. Francis. Here's a chance again. A shot right on. The save, the rebound. And it's shot deflected by the defenseman. A good job covering up.
Well, you get a guy in front of the net is exactly where you want him, is screening the goaltender, and he almost had an opportunity to score. Good shot in from the blue line by Colleran.
Buckley right there. And it's knocked away right in front. A good job by the defense again for St. Joe's. Number 9 came up with it, Murphy, and he cleared it down the ice. Well, a goaltender's friend, the defenseman, they played well there. Right in front, score! St. Joe's, number 2, and that's Michael Adamski.
Adamski went in front of the net, got a perfect pass across, was able to just empty net it, nobody around him, he just redirected it in past the goaltender. St. Joe's, who has had all the pressure up until now, comes out with the first goal of the game. St. Francis now has to regroup and get on their horse and get it going.
And St. Joe's an early lead, 1-0. Let's watch the play develop, and Adamski will finish it.
Blodzinski makes the initial save, and the puck still squirts loose, gets across in front of him, and then he has to scramble. He can't get across quick enough to make the save, but he initially makes the save. He's got to start getting some help from his defenseman back there. I know he's a good goaltender, but you can't stop him all by yourself.
And it was Thomas Devins who made the pass and set up Adamski for the goal. 1-0. They're giving the second assist too. So 1-0. St. Joe's leads on Adamski's goal. St. Joe's trying to keep it in. Gowan could not. And here comes St. Francis. A whistle and play is stopped with 10:22 to go in the first period.
St. Francis has to make a concentrated effort with their defensemen and getting people out from in front of the net, but they also in their own end have to play a little more physical. Walt, they haven't done that as of yet. They've got to pick it up a notch.
Well, it was a terrific pass by Devers as you look at John Bowers, the head coach of St. Francis. 1-0 game if you just joined us. St. Joe's, the number 1 team in New York State, leading St. Francis, the number 2 team in the state, on a goal by Michael Adamski, set up by Devers on a beautiful feed. Approaching 10 minutes remaining in the first period. St. Francis has had some opportunities in the last couple of minutes, and they shoot it right on the goaltender, and he just falls on the puck. Pat Berger covering up.
St. Francis probably had their best scoring opportunity just before that goal was scored by St. Joe's, but here again this last shift they were able to get some sustained pressure in St. Joe's goaltender. I'm not quite sure what that replay was about, except that was the last shot that came in towards St. Joe's goaltender, and you know, he wisely grabs onto that puck because he's not quite sure where his defensemen are, and that's not the worst thing you can do. Right in front, they poke at it. Oh, they came so close to scoring, and the goaltender comes up big, Pat Berger. That was a great chance there. Berger turned away a couple of shots. A little sloppy there by St. Joe's off that face-off. Now action in the St. Francis end. Number 15, Chris Spear, will clear it around the boards for St. Francis. It comes in front, and the goaltender Blodzinski just redirects it. They can't get it out, however. Murphy's shot is way wide. This is number 25, Ryan Shanahan, for St. Francis. He can't get it out.
Golder kept it in and shot right on in the save by Jason Blodzinski. You mentioned about at the other end, Pat Berger, that's what a goaltender's supposed to do, isn't he, Larry? Cover up when in doubt.
Well, Blodzinski did the same thing there. Not quite sure where his defensemen are, or maybe the guys are a little bit tired. That's not the worst thing you can do, is to hang on to the puck.
And we're going to go down to Rick Zurich at ice side.
Well, we talked at the top of the show how big the goaltending would be, and what happens? Well, St. Joe's gets the big save from Pat Berger. Then the bench yells, come on, we got to outwork them. Next thing you know, well, they do outwork him. It's Tom Devins working the puck in front of Mike Adamski. Joe scores. They lead 1-0. And one thing about Berger, the goalie for St. Joe's, next year he'll be playing for the Fighting Irish in Notre Dame, while his partner, Tom Devins, he's going to West Point. Back to you guys.
That's an interesting report there. Both kids going on.
Goaltenders are noted as not being the brightest guys in the world, but these two guys, I'll tell you what, they're changing the pace of things.
Notre Dame and West Point, not too shabby. Out to center ice, and it's flipped back in by St. Francis. St. Joe's has had the better of the play here in the first period. It's been a pretty good game so far, featured by the goaltenders. Both have been fairly sharp. Flipped back into the St. Joe's end. Well, that first goal, it happened so fast, as it does sometimes in hockey. St. Francis steered away on a shot, and then St. Joe's came right down the ice and scored quickly. Nothing really happening right now. DeGilio, number 14 for St. Joe's. Good pass there. Sends his teammate in, and then he's checked by two St. Francis players and taken off the play. DeGilio. And now St. Francis, they're starting to throw their weight around on the checks. But it seems like St. Joe's is able to maintain the puck for long periods of time.
Well, they have been, but St. Francis knows they have to do this in their own end. They have to outplay St. Joe's, be a little more physical, and they're starting to do that now, Walt. I think it will pay dividends.
7:35 to go in the first period. Wisniewski, number 17 for St. Francis. Bottle up, it comes out. Shot, DeGilio is knocked down. Actually, it hit his own teammate there. Kalenic, that was not Kalenic, that was Buckley. Right in front, opportunity for St. Joe's. DeGilio's shot is blocked, and his second try is shot wide. DeGilio there sparring with one of the St. Francis players. Here's an opportunity, the shot, and a good save there, and covering up is the goaltender.
Blodzinski comes out and plays that shot extremely well. He knows there's still a St. Joe player off to the other side of the ice. If the pass goes across, there's no way in the world he can get to it. But if he can make that first save, which he did, he comes out, makes the save. Now he doesn't have to worry about the pass going across. And a good goaltender who can play the shot coming in first, does the right thing, is going to be a big guy to help the team. And obviously Blodzinski the whole year long has helped this squad.
Right action still in the St. Francis end. St. Joe's, the player falls, and St. Francis comes up with a break. It's 1-on-2. And the player tried to get it across the ice. Ryan Shanahan attempted to get it to his teammate who was trailing the play. That didn't work out, so it shot back into the St. Francis end. And Radchuk, number 5. Puck will come to the goaltender. This is dangerous. At the point. Player right in front. Boy. Oh, it hit the post. Very close to the goal there. They got to cover up, and they finally get it out. They were lucky.
They were lucky. They got to dodge the bullet that time.
They came so close. And number 5, Richard Crozier. Can he do that? He was right there on top of that goaltender. Seemed like he was pretty close to being in the crease.
Richard Crozier's father actually worked for the Buffalo Sabres and was a coach of the year way back when, and now it helps with the development of the younger kids in the amateur program and also in Rochester.
Well, his dad must have taught Richard Crozier that, to stay in front of the goaltender, and he just missed getting a goal. The goaltender comes way out of the crease. They do manage to get it to center ice. And number 10, Kenny Golder, taken off the play, and St. Joe's coming back the other way. Rosetta. Nice play, and again, Blodzinski covers up, but attacking the net again, the St. Joe's players.
Well, St. Joe's still pretty much has had the majority of the good shots and the quality of the play, but this game is starting to settle into the type of game I think we expected it to be, and that is starting to be a hard-hitting game. Here comes the last shot where St. Joe's comes across the line, and Crocetta now has nowhere to go, so he takes the shot. This is a good move because he's got the defenseman in front of him. He's maybe hoping for a screen, but he doesn't know for sure. But to take a shot then is a good thing to do because the goaltender screen, he can mishandle that puck.
And St. Joe's trying to keep it in the attacking zone. It will come out across the blue line, and here comes St. Francis 3 against 5. Opportunity for a shot, and it's way up into the red section as that was deflected.
Well, it so often happens that St. Francis crosses the blue line, and they've got a chance of A, getting the shot, and then B, if there's any rebounds, guys are going to the net, and unfortunately it hits a stick and leaves the ice surface. But those are the things that can happen in the game, and you just have to regroup and hope you can get something going. Fortunately for St. Francis, now the faceoff will be St. Joe's end, and they still have a chance of getting it.
Well, they had the faceoff, but they elected to shoot it around the boards. Roswell shot it around the boards, and St. Joe's has the puck momentarily. It goes back. So that actually is 14 to Gilio now. He'll get it out, and here's a chance. A shot, and it's deflected. A good job there. Number 17, Wisniewski had, or 17, Devins rather, had an excellent chance. Wow, here's our hit of the game so far. And a clean hit, or is there a penalty here? Let's see what the call is by the officials. That was quite a whack.
Well, if they're going to give him a penalty, it could only be maybe charging, but I'll tell you what, Adams came up and stepped in to the St. Joe's player, and he's still a little shook up. That was a heck of a check for this guy to even be getting back up on his feet. I believe it's Caggiulio. For him to even be able to get back up on his feet is a credit to the player. It was a backhand pass, and then Adams just steps on and just unloads. Good clean check. He had his elbows down. Ouch.
Well, no penalty. Clean check, as you said, Larry. Adams. A real hard check. Boy, he was a little sloppy there. And number 11, Kuller Cup, almost had a chance to put that one back in. Here's St. Francis. They have an opportunity. Ken Zerara, and an offside is called. Ken Zerara was going in, and he had looked like Bernhards on his left side, but offside called.
My memory serves me correctly. Last year, St. Joe's did about the same thing. They were pretty much taking it to St. Francis, and then in the third period, St. Francis turned it up a notch and was able to pull it off.
You see Pat Berger, and he hasn't been tested that much in this game. 4:30 to go in the first period, 1-0. St. Joe's with an early goal, and they're leading this game. And traditionally, these two teams have played low-scoring games. We'll whistle it down again.
One of the reasons Berger hasn't had that much action tonight is because the players in front of him have been able to get the puck and move it, including his defenseman, who, if there's a shot, it's only one, Walt. Then they clear the rebound and they get it up to the forwards and get moving again. And that's picture perfect. That's the way you want things done. And it doesn't always happen that way, but tonight it is for St. Joe's, or this morning I should say it is for St. Joe's.
Well, for a 9 a.m. start in the morning, there's a lot of people that have filtered in now. Shot right on, a golden opportunity, and a nice glove save for the goaltender, Pat Berger.
Well, Berger, give him credit. He's able to get down low enough to see that shot coming in from the blue line, and it comes in. He's able to make a big save on it, but the easy ones are easy sometimes, and sometimes a little hop in front or a little stick, and that's what will throw the goaltender off.
6'2" player, but weighing 155 only. Needs to put a little weight on. But 6'2" rangy type goaltender, does that help to have that height?
It certainly does. And in fact, the league has started to go towards some bigger goaltenders. The National Hockey League I'm talking about, guys like Darren Pupa and Tom Barrasso, I recall, played for the Sabres, and they were as big as they come.
And an opportunity there. It's knocked down. A good play by Thomas Buckley for St. Joe's, and they are trying to get it out of their own end. We've had a lot of hitting as it starts. It goes on. Here's a 3-on-2 opportunity. Right in the shot. Good save by Buckley as he denied. A good save, rather, by Pat Berger as he denies the St. Francis player, Radchuk. I believe that was Radchuk, Peter Radchuk, who took the shot.
And, Walt, I think we may have our first penalty here, and I'm not quite sure what's... Here's Caggiulio, the kid that got banged up in the collision at center ice with Adams. But I give this guy a boatload of credit, even for sitting on the bench. I'm sure he just shook up a little bit and the cobwebs are out. If I see him come back on the ice, I'll know he's a potential National Hockey Leaguer.
And we're going to go down to Rick Zurich for an update. Okay, it is 1-0.
And Richard Crozier, the guy we chatted about a bit earlier, is going to spend a little bit of time over in the sin bin. And I'm sure his dad is in the building somewhere and probably has a big old grin on his face.
We talked about the injured player, Jacob Caniglio. And he will be back and see some action, we were told. At least that's the way it looks. They're still attending to him on the bench. He took that hit for Adams. St. Francis has had a couple of opportunities in the last few minutes. But now St. Joe's, with St. Francis with the power play. Let's see if they can tie it right in, and being denied, Radchuk. It's twice. It looked like he might have been hauled down on that play. Number 2, Adamski. Let's see, now a penalty.
Well, St. Francis, I believe, is going to get this penalty.
That's a bad break for St. Francis. They just got the power play.
And Radchuk made an unbelievable play coming down and split the defenseman. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take that back. St. Joe's is going to be down 2 guys now. St. Francis has got a great opportunity here to tie this game up.
Well, we got thrown off because looking right, a cross-checking penalty, looking right across from us, a bunch of kids cheering. It looked like they have St. Joe's colors on, but apparently not, because they were up and cheering when the penalty was called.
Well, it all happened in front of the net, and it appeared to me that there was one of the St. Francis players that was down on the ice, but obviously the St. Joe's player ended up with the penalty.
Well, it'll be a 2-man advantage for the next 1:35 with 3:21 to go in the first period. D'Antonio on the ice, Starzik, some of the big guns for St. Francis. 19, Brady, shot, oh, he fanned on it. Number 5, Radchuk was teeing it up. Brady, inside, Radchuk scores, and he's tied it up on the power play.
Boy, that's picture perfect. He got an absolutely unbelievable pass and split the seams from the defenseman all the way down to Radchuk low, and then he comes in, goes upstairs with the shot. No question it was going in. The interesting thing here now, though, St. Joe's will still have a penalty, a man in the penalty box, because only one penalty will expire, Walt.
Well, a tremendous pass, and Radchuk, as you said, picture perfect. Let's describe it, Larry.
The pass splits the seams right between both of St. Joe's players, right onto Radchuk's stick. Now he moves towards the center of the ice, towards the goaltender, I should say, and then he goes upstairs with the shot. Really, the only place he had to go, because down low was all covered by Berger. Berger had already made a commitment that nothing was going to beat him low. Radchuk goes upstairs and ties the game.
Well, that's a very difficult shot that he made, and St. Francis has tied it 1-1 on the power play right in front and almost snuck in the lead goal. They have the man advantage for the next minute and 25 seconds, and St. Joe's able to get it up. They've got a 2-on-1, and here comes St. Joe's. Nice looking play, and fanning on it, number 12, James Collins, actually steered it a little wide. Boy, Collins had a great opportunity.
Good scoring chance, come right back after they get scored against. That's impressive.
Good pass by Color Cup, setting up that opportunity on the 2-on-1 for St. Joe's. They shoot it down the ice, and that will knock a lot of time off the penalty time. It's down to 55 seconds. Long pass up ice. Knocked down at the St. Joe's blue line and then shot back in around the corners. St. Francis will try and hem it in, get a good shot. And again, St. Joe's shoots it down the ice. They're doing a good job now. St. Joe's, look at this guy. Great pass. Oh, it was knocked down by the defense. I thought he almost snuck it through there. Gomez was waiting in front of the net. Oh, fans are getting what they paid to come in here for, Larry. Pretty entertaining game so far.
Well, I guess we sort of surmised that in the beginning, but we've got exactly what we wanted. A good game that nobody's really running away with.
We expected to see a close contest, and that's what we're seeing right now. And the penalty is now over. Both teams are at full strength with a minute 20 to go. St. Joe's player pulled around and knocked down Richard Crozier. Did a good job maintaining it. Got it out to DeGilio. And now St. Francis comes up ice 3-on-3. Golder, the goaltender, will go back for it. Pat Berger. Both teams seem to be checking well now.
Well, I think St. Francis, since that goal, has come on a little bit to play a little more aggressive hockey. And I don't necessarily mean more physical. I mean more aggressive in wanting the puck and going for it. That'll only help them.
Kotis, this is the last minute of play. In fact, down to 44 seconds, and now a play in front, and it's knocked down by number 10, Golder. He didn't get it out. A shot by DeGilio, or by Caniglio.
I think we're going to have a penalty here, another one. I think this one's going to St. Francis, though, for an interfering penalty against Colleran. He almost gang tackled the guy in front of the net, and certainly no argument there as he skates towards the penalty box.
31 seconds time remaining in the first period. A 1-1 hockey game.
This will be our first opportunity to see St. Joe's power play, and we'll only see 31 seconds of it.
And we'll check in with Rick Zurich for this injury update.
Well, earlier in the game, guys, you saw Jacob Caniglio of St. Francis take a very big hit at center ice, and he went down, had to basically scrap himself together and pull himself off the ice. He did suffer a cut over on his forehead, was bleeding, but they put it together, put some tape on it. He is okay, and he says he will be back in the game for St. Francis. Meanwhile, power play goal, and Franny's ties it up at 1-1.
Great save there. Bledzinski got his leg out to knock it away from Devens, the leading scorer for St. Joe's. They'd like to be able to get out of this first period in a 1-1 tie. It looks like they will at this point. 15 seconds to go. Bledzinski pretty quick in the nets.
He sure was, and he was tested by the best that St. Joe's has got, and still came up large.
5 seconds to go in the period. St. Francis now will... The first period will come to an end as St. Francis is able to knock off 32 seconds off the penalty, and when the second period starts, it will be the man advantage belonging to St. Joe's. But at the end of the first period, the score, St. Francis won and St. Joe's won. Larry, we're going to keep it here in that first period. How did you think it went?
Well, I guess I was somewhat surprised St. Francis started out as slow as they did, but they got it going pretty well. Their goaltender had certainly held them in there and kept things strong. Bledzinski really was, if it's not for him, there's probably a couple more goals that St. Joe's has. But on the other hand, once St. Francis started to feel their way through this game, they started to play a little more aggressive and started to play a little sounder hockey. And I thought towards the end it was a much more even match. Obviously, the power play goal helped St. Francis to tie the game up, but we'll have to see what happens here in the second period.
Well, we have a 1-1 tie. We'll check the goal scoring and shots on goal, but first, let's check it now. Larry, your honors.
Well, the first goal, Adamski gets it from Devens and Kotaz, and it's a perfect setup. A pass comes across from Devens to Adamski, who's standing on the side of the net. Now, Bledzinski earlier had made the save, was out of position when the puck comes across, and it's a wide open net. All that Adamski has to do is send the puck in. The other goal was even a prettier play, although it's a 5-on-3 situation. You expect better passes to be made, and there was. Radchuk's goal was a perfect pass. Here we're backing up to the initial goal that St. Joe's gets. A perfect pass across. Now, Bledzinski's already made a commitment, and he has to make a commitment. He has to do that to not allow that side of the net to be open. The pass across, that's supposed to be the defenseman supposed to come in and pick it up. He doesn't.
All right, let's go down to Rick Zurek.
Well, guys, this is the state championship game. You talked earlier about number 1 against number 2. Well, really, that scenario just took place 2 days ago. Rome Free Academy was the number 2 team in the state. St. Joe's was 1, St. Francis number 3. Well, Rome Free Academy 2 days ago lost. St. Francis moved up to number 2. Thus, you've got number 1 playing against number 2. It's a state championship game, tied 1-1 after 1. It should be a great second and third period. Back up to you.
All right, a 1-1 game. The shots on goal, 9 for St. Joe's, 7 for St. Francis, and St. Joe's had the better of it early in the contest. Now St. Joe's with the man advantage as the two teams have switched ends of the ice, and now St. Joe's will be going right to left on your screen with the power play for the next minute and 5 seconds. They have an opportunity here right in front, and St. Francis able to clear it. Player just couldn't get his stick on the puck soon enough, Larry, or they would have had a great chance for a goal.
Well, St. Joe's certainly has, with the man advantage, has had at least one excellent scoring opportunity. Here they come again.
Buckley will carry it in. He'll be double teamed, taken off the play. Now the puck held against the boards. And it's out to the point. It's kept in there. Good job by DeGilio. And now another whistle. Play will be stopped with 14:07 to go in the second period.
I believe they're going to call that an offside pass, or offside, because it was a hand pass and came across the blue line. So this is a break for St. Franny's, who was under a little bit of pressure from St. Joe's, and now they get to back up and regroup, get some new fresh legs out there and start again. They've still got 35 seconds on this penalty that they're going to have to try and kill off.
That's an interesting situation, this matchup. St. Joe's hasn't lost all year, 20-0-2. However, they've played St. Francis twice and haven't beaten St. Francis. They've tied them twice.
Yes,
St.
sir.
Francis lost 3 games. I'd like to know who they lost to. They obviously were teams from not around here or outside their area. They must have played some tough competition. There's a pretty hard check by Shanahan as he took Collins into the boards. And we've seen the players really, after the first 4 or 5 minutes, there's been a lot more checking in this game. St. Francis with 13:30 to go in the second period. Play near center ice. St. Francis couldn't do much with it. Collins knocks it into the left corner. Number 7 for St. Francis is Roswell. Shanahan is bumped on the play. It's kept in by St. Joe's. Into the corner boards. St. Joe's opportunity, a weak shot, and almost got through there by Crossetto. I don't know if the goaltender saw that.
Well, he saw the first shot coming in, but I believe it was tipped by one of his own men in front of the net, and he was still able to make the save. And so far, St. Francis has come up with 7 saves. St. Joe's Berger has come up with 9. But you mentioned something a bit earlier about these two teams playing against each other. There's a lot on the line today, not only the championship for the Varsity Federation, but just bragging rights for the rest of the summer when these guys bump into each other. You can bet they'll want that.
Well, one thing, we won't have a tie. We would have an overtime in the event of a tie till we have a champion. Right on the goaltender, Pludzinski, he steers it away. A couple of players going at it there. Number 22, Gomez for St. Joe's. And 15, Chad Spear for St. Francis. I think St. Francis has settled down here, though, Larry. They seem to be playing much better.
St. Francis, I think you're right, Walt. I think in the beginning we're a bit nervous. Certainly that first part of that first period, they looked like they were just really uptight, and they've since come around and are starting to take a few more risks and trying to get some imagination into their game, which is key.
Well, action back into the St. Francis end. Brady for St. Francis will circle. Got it up to his teammate, and it's knocked back into the St. Francis zone. Now over the blue line. Number 17 poked away. Wisniewski back to his own player. Now up to Jay Brady. Brady gets it up to center ice where number 9, Murphy, shoots it back in. Goaltender right on that one, who'll steer it to his teammate. 17, Dave Wisniewski. And this is 14, DeGilio. DeGilio drops it back. A good idea, but it was intercepted. Joe Collins stepped right in the spot where DeGilio left it for his teammate. St. Francis gets it up ice. And now St. Joe's turning back from their own end. They have a 2-on-2. Number 15, Kotas. Dropped it back again. St. Francis apparently smelling those little drop back passes out.
Well, they're starting to become very obvious. And when the guy looks over his shoulder and looks for somebody and then turns around to his backhand, you know he's going to make the backhand pass, so it's easy to pick off.
It was an easy save for Pat Berger. Now it's held for face-off along the corner boards. 11:16 to go in the second period. We're tied at 1-1.
Well, the game has gotten a little faster, but it's also gotten a little sloppier. And you alluded to already the couple of backhand passes that have been picked off. But either team now, if they were just to play sound, solid, smart hockey, would be able to have an opportunity, a scoring opportunity. They just got to tighten up a little bit.
We told you about Tommy Devens for St. Joe's. He's their leading scorer with 19 goals and 20 assists for 39 points. Johnny Bowers, St. Francis with the St. Francis coat on, too, the colors. St. Francis has had the better of the faceoffs by 1, 10-9. A couple other key players.
Well, I was just going to say that's a key statistic. So this game starts to wind down.
Breakaway. Buckley. And a great save by Bludzinski. Buckley was denied.
Well, there was a couple of neat plays happening. A perfect pass Buckley was denied, but a good save by Bludzinski to keep these guys still in the game. But back to the face-offs, just if you will for a second. Those things can be key towards the end of the game. Right now it's 10-9, it's real close. Here's the great play. He comes in, and he's going to try and go upstairs. Bludzinski stays right with him. Rather than move across and guess where he's going, he stays right up with him.
And look at number 16, Adams coming in on the doorstep, and the defenseman got there and covered up.
And there's our gentleman there, Buckley, who almost had himself a goal, and his team would have had the lead.
Well, he has scored 10 goals and 18 assists in league play, 28 points, their second leading scorer. That one right on. Bludzinski turns it away. Got a stick on that one. It was going wide anyways. Color Cup. Number 11 comes around to catch an inning. St. Joe's all over St. Francis right now, and now here comes St. Francis. They've got a possible 2-on-1, and the pass a little bit too far for Chris Obstarzik. 10:33 to go.
That's a frustrating situation with a potential 2-on-1. Obstarzik doesn't. He looks the wrong way for the pass coming up, and championship game like this, you can't make those mistakes too often. You can do it once or twice, but you can bet St. Francis will be on the bench right now talking about that, and the players are going to try and correct that. And next time they're going to make sure it's a tape-to-tape pass.
And both of these goaltenders are very astute, tough goaltenders, so whoever scores that second goal, it's going to be large.
Real large.
Low-scoring game. He got a little piece of that and steered it wide. Bludzinski did. Right now we're in the second period. St. Joe scored first from the point and shot wide again. Taking the shot was Danny Toole. Adamski scored for St. Joe's for their goal. And then St. Francis tied it up later in the period as Radchek scored. Gomez, great pass. And a good job by the defense, and then a nice save by Bludzinski. That was not Gomez, that was Thomas Wirth who set that whole play up. 23.
And Cressetta, who was standing in front of the net and got a perfect pass, waited too long before he took the shot, Walt. If he unloads that thing quicker, he probably gets a chance at least of getting a good quality shot away on Bludzinski, but he elects to kind of get control of it, and it's very tempting to really get a smooth handle on the puck and then shoot it. But when you're in front of the net like that, you can't afford to wait that long. You've got to let it go a little quicker.
Now 1-1 tie. Let's look at the replay.
Well, here's what I'm talking about. Now Crusader's got. If he let's go now, he's got a chance. But he waited a little bit and he got his pockets picked. Next time you can bet when he gets to hold that puck in front of the net, he's going to unload quicker.
Wirth really set him up with a good feed, and as you mentioned, Cressetta a little slow pulling the trigger. Vigilio poke checked away. St. Francis shoots it into the St. Joe's end, and again they'll whistle it down. It's been a fairly clean game, a lot of checking, but clean checks.
It has been, Walt, but if you noticed the last little bit, the checks have been a little harder, a little stiffer, and the teams are, they know what is on the line, and they want to make sure that they're going to let the other team know that it's going to be everything they've got if they're going to try and beat them.
Oh, from what you've seen, if it gets into more of a heavy checking game, who do you think that would favor?
I think St. Joe's. It looks to me like St. Joe's is a little bigger team, and I think St. Joe's, for the most part, and this is not a shot at Johnny Bowers by any stretch, looks to be a little better team as far as their positional play goes, and that's only my observation. Up until the halfway point. There certainly could change.
16-8 shots on goal, so St. Joe's have been taking a lot of shots at Bludzinski.
Tom Devon's about to take the face-off. This guy's going to West Point next season, partner.
In front, steered away by the goaltender. And now to the corner. Radchek has it intercepted. Vigilio going in, a weak shot, and it's steered away by the goaltender Bludzinski. Bludzinski also going to West Point, we were told. So him and Devons.
Well, in practice, he'll know his weak spots at least.
That's for sure. Well, they're just having a rough time now. St. Francis clearing it out of their own end, and they're getting themselves in trouble here if they don't get it out soon.
Well, it goes back to what we said. They're going to rely on their goaltender, and they certainly have done that, but they've also got to help him out a little bit.
Nice check there. Number 15 throwing the check, Kotaz. Shot from the point was knocked down. by Devins. Got through and they almost scored. Goaltender just got a piece of it there. Berger. Good job there by DeGilio as he stepped in front of the crease.
You know, Berger has not been tested that much, and that might be a blessing for St. Francis because when they took what I would consider a mediocre shot, and Berger had a little bit of trouble with it, only because he hasn't been tested in a while. So St. Francis now with a face-off in St. Joe's end, they can get a quick shot away, might have themselves an opportunity to score.
8:28 left in the second period, a 1-1 game. This face-off now will come to the right of Pat Berger. And, you know, when a goaltender hasn't been tested in a few minutes, boom, all of a sudden they're on you. It could surprise you.
It sure can.
That's got to be the most frustrating thing, though, Larry, when you're a hockey player, when you dominate another team and then they get one shot and score on you.
It really...
Shot, great save. He picked that one like he was picking cherries.
Well, now, you're going to have to give some credit to Berger because just what we've been saying about not being tested and for him to come up large and his concentration level has to be such that he's able to recognize he's going to get a good shot away, or one at least he's going to have to make a save on, and he did exactly that. Big save for St. Joe's.
This is going to be a tremendous shot for you.
This is a great pass. It comes out from behind the net to a frantic player in front of the net, and he, as soon as he gets it, lets a shot go, and he tries to go upstairs. Berger makes a glove hand save, but it was a huge one.
Wow. D'Antonio took the shot, and you know, right, Obstarzik was right obstructing the vision there, too, of the goaltender.
And that's what you want. You want your guys in front of the net causing havoc and making it tough on the other goaltender to see the puck.
Well, that looked like a certain goal. D'Antonio couldn't keep it in, but St. Francis does. Obstarzik kept it in. St. Joe's will break out 2 against 2 now. 23 Worth. Worth takes a shot it high. Went behind the net. Number 19 had it momentarily. Cressetta out to the point, and Toole keeps it in. Worth backhands it for Collins. Collins taking off the play now. Collins will still battle for the puck, but St. Francis has it. Number 18 is Teft. He's tied up. Spear for St. Francis. And down the ice it comes. Ooh, Obstarzik. Obstarzik almost had a shot there. Did a good job, and St. Francis maintains possession. Teft. And St. Joe's now will come up, shoot it down to the blue line of St. Francis. St. Francis player just came off the bench there, Ryan Shanahan, and he was able to be in the right place at the right time.
Sometimes that happens. A guy will read the play just right and jump off the bench in order to catch a pass.
Crozier is knocked down there by Shanahan, who lost his stick. Shanahan continues to play. Here's a shot right on. It's knocked down. In front, St. Francis. Look at Shanahan. Can you do that? No stick?
You can do it as long as you can make a forehand pass. It's not a penalty. But see, Shanahan was in a situation where he couldn't afford to leave the zone to pick up his stick, which had fallen out of his hands. Otherwise, he's in trouble because now his team's in a 5-on-4 situation, so he opted to stay around and just make do.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting because as you saw in the shot when he lost his stick, first he was going to go get the stick, and he said, no, I'll stay in my zone and shadow my man here. And apparently that's what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, you don't want to leave him, even though you don't have a stick and you're not as competent a player without it as you would be with it. You still have to stick around because you can still make a difference just by getting somebody's way.
Well, it worked because they didn't score. They didn't really get a good shot. And Shanahan was able to get his stick then after the play ended. 2 against 2, St. Joe's. That was deflected. Had it been on net by Gomez, it would have been trouble, but it was wide. And again, another hard check by Gomez. Approaching 6 minutes remaining here in the second period. So we're more than halfway through. And we're getting what we expected, Larry, a low-scoring game. They haven't scored much in the previous 2 games.
Well, what's happened now, too, is they've been spending less time in each other ends, and it's been starting to become an end-to-end affair. And
you know, Adamski shoots it wide. Kodaz shot. That's wide. Here's a shot and a score. They didn't cover up. And number 17, their leading scorer, Thomas Devins, has given St. Joe's the lead.
Well, the shot does come in from the blue line. Devin standing off to the side of the net. Actually, he was in front first and then turned around, picked up the loose puck, and on his backhand went upstairs over Bludzinski. But Bludzinski made the first save. Nobody was there to clear the rebound. Devin's was. He got a hold of it and put it upstairs. Here we get a chance to see it. The shot comes in, not a real tough one, but he makes the first save. That's all you can ask your goaltender to do, is to make the first save. Devin's standing right there, gets the rebound and puts it away.
Saw it. Number 17. Well, I'm not sure. It could have been Roswell diving there. Let's go down to Rick Zurek. We will come back in a second. We're continuing with the play. A 2-1 game. Devins has given St. Joe's the lead back again at 2-1. And it will get difficult from here for St. Francis to come back.
Well, that's a big goal. The game, as we talked about, started to go, instead of spending a lot of time in one end or another, started to become a flow game.
And now down to Rick Zurek for this report.
Well, guys, Tom Devins, an assist on the first goal. He gets the second. St. Joe's on top 2-1, and a little scoring summary for you on the season for St. Joe's. The Marauders, they scored 173 goals, gave up just 30, winning by an average of 8-1. Right now it's 2-1. Back up to you.
And a weak shot right on the goaltender, Bludzinski. They whistle it down anyway.
You know, with guys like Berger, Bludzinski, and Devins heading off onto colleges to play hockey, it just is credit to this Buffalo area where so many kids are starting to play better hockey and are getting recognized. And it's, you know, you move them up to a par on the Minnesota level and the Boston area, where a lot of those kids move on to the National Hockey League. And Buffalo has a few in the league already, and you can bet because of this varsity league and leagues like it, there are going to be a lot more folks from the Buffalo area in the National Hockey League.
Well, it's picked up the level of play in Western New York over the last 10 years tremendously, and it will probably continue to do so. Might be a thorn in the side, the high school situation with hockey in Western New York, where you don't really have a sanctioned league by the high schools except for this one here. We don't want to get into all that. The shot flipped wide, but you might see that someday also.
Well, I think this is the way it's going to go. It has to go this way.
Opportunity, here it is, right on the goal. Save, another save. Dave Wisniewski denied first. And although Pat Berger hasn't faced as many shots as Bludzinski, he's been just as strong, if not stronger in the nets. That one almost snuck through there. He covers up.
Well, he had 3 pretty tough tests on him, and he hasn't had any in a little bit. He was equal to the task.
Well, Berger, that 6'2" height, Larry, has come up with about 3 tremendous saves in the last 5 minutes.
Well, we see the first shot here, and it's a stone-cold blank shot, nobody anywhere in front of him, and he makes the first save. Then another save, not quite as tough, but he had to come up large. That one hit off his shoulder, as you saw, and bounced into the corner. And then finally St. Joe's got a hold of it again, and then there was still one more save that he had to make.
Know why it is, but there doesn't have.
Wait a second. It's not Karen, it's Cynthia.
I like my beats funky. It's
Claire.
Me a lumpy. I'm
Digital cable radio, 19 different music channels with CD sound and no commercials for the perfect music, regardless of your passion.
Venus.
Hi.
Digital cable radio. It's cable for your stereo. Call your cable company.
Nice pass.
Well, it's 4-1 now as St. Joe's had picked up 2 quick goals. The first one was credited to Brian Majerski, and we'll take a look at the replays. And I believe number 7 is going to get this one. Let's take a look at it. That would be Gowan.
Well, watch the great play by Richard Crozier as he takes it down low, and it's a 2-on-1. He makes a perfect pass across, and the shot, there's no way in the world any goaltender is going to be able to get to that one. But Crozier came across and made a perfect pass to Gowan. St. Joe's is in a comfortable lead, I would say now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you never think that your club's out of it, and now Coach Bowers is going to try and convince his team that they could still win this game. But 4-1, and the way the goaltender's playing for St. Joe's, Pat Berger, it doesn't look too good for St. Francis.
Well, Johnny Bowers, the only thing he can be talking to his team about now is, hey, guys, look, we've got nothing to lose now. They're up by 3. We've just got to do everything we can to try and pick away and get one at a time. We're not going to get them all before the end of this period. Let's just see what we can do to this team. St. Joe's, on the other hand, are going to be a hard bunch to stop because they've really got it going, firing on all cylinders. And Berger's, who's been tested seldom, but when he has been, has come up large. St. Joe's now is going to be a real tough team to come back and beat.
Well, they caught some breaks, too, because that first goal there that made it 3-1, it was anybody's game. And then when number 21, Brian Majerski, I might have said Wisniewski, Brian Majerski came in on that right wing, and somehow he got that puck by the goaltender, Bludzinski, to make it 3-1. That was key. And then all of a sudden, boom, you get another goal. It's almost like it's lights out here.
Well, Bludzinski made the initial save, and unfortunately it snuck in behind him, just landed on the goal line and then snuck across and counted. Those are tough.
And then Gowan took a perfect pass and scored to make it 4-1, and we'll go down to Rick Zurek.
Well, guys, we'll have to give you an injury update on Steve Gowan, because after that goal, he got totally mugged in the corner. About 12 players jumping all over them. He barely made it back to the bench, but he had a huge smile on his face. And don't worry about him. He's more than okay as he gives Joe's the 4-1 lead. Back to you.
And approaching 2:20 remaining in the second period. Rick Zurek and Larry Playfair along with Walt Sears and all the action here. And it looks like number 1 is going to beat number 2, although we have a full period and 2 minutes plus to play before this one's decided. But St. Joe's dominating now in the second period, leading 4-1. When you consider that these two clubs, Larry, met twice previous and both ended in ties, that's a commanding lead.
Well, I'm sure those would have loved to watch those games. They must have been good contests.
St. Joe's trying to keep the pressure on. They flip it into the crease, and now it's shot, but not out. It's kept in by Toole. His shot whistles wide. Bludzinski tries to cover up, can't do it. Goes to the right corner, and again Toole tried to keep it in, but couldn't do it. Did a good athletic move there, but unable to keep it in. He's questioning the official there now.
Well, there's really no doubt about that one being offside, and he knows it full well himself. He was across the line by probably almost a foot. But
Bob Albano and Gary Panic, the two officials, as you look at some of the people in the auditorium. 4 games here. If you like hockey, or if you're a youth hockey advocate, you gotta love this. 4 games. Yesterday, by the way, Larry, we did 4 basketball games.
Wow, no stopping, huh?
High school basketball. Well, once in a while we have to work. 1:25 to go in the period. That's close. And the goaltender covers up. A player might be shaken up. Let's see, number 8 looks to be okay. Colleran.
Well, St. Joe's just continues to dominate this game now, and they with the comfortable lead they've got, St. Francis is going to have to start taking some chances, and St. Joe's is such a strong team that when St. Francis does take some chances and they don't work, St. Joe's is going to be right there to pounce on them.
1:24 to go. This faceoff will come to the right of Bludzinski. You really can't blame Jason Bludzinski either. He's faced a number of shots, over 20 in the game.
And he hasn't got much help in front of him. And he's made some fine saves, as you alluded to, Paul.
Off the face-off. St. Francis has to go 1 goal at a time now. Get that second one. Don't panic. They're down 4-1. There's a lot of time left. 1:10 to go in the second period. A rather weak shot there for Michael Adamski, who scored the first goal of this game.
Well, the thing is, and you're absolutely right, Walt, they didn't get to be number 2 in the state by folding their tent, so now they've got an opportunity.
Dever shot. Stop. And that hit the outside of the net. Shot wide. The goaltender got tangled up there.
They didn't get the chance to be number 2 in the state by folding their tent, like I said, so they've still got a whole period left to try and get themselves a couple of goals. And I would expect to see a stronger St. Francis team in this third period.
You could see just the confidence level of St. Joe is so high now, working with a 4-1 lead.
It really is. It really is. It's going to be tough for St. Francis to overcome that.
And a good check there. Number 19, Crosetta, just shielded the St. Francis player away. Here's a break. Shot, and he fanned on it. Good job. DeGilio taking it in. Bludzinski steers it away. Good job by Bludzinski. He's taken off the angle.
Well, DeGilio had the chance to get a good shot away, and he opted to try and go to make a deke, and it was then that he lost control of the puck. It got up and started to roll on him, But this team has got so much confidence. They were able to get in behind, and he had a breakaway almost from the blue line. We'll see the last chance here. DeJulio comes in, takes the shot. I'm sorry, that was the one just after that. The shot come in from the blue line, just a floater, and then you'd like to face about 40 of those a night. They're kind of easy to handle.
Jason Bludzinski, he smiling there. He's saying, well, what can I do? You know, they're coming at me from all angles. And that's it. The end of 2 periods. St. Joe's comes up very, very big, and they lead it by 4-1, Larry, as they dominated the last 10 minutes of that second period.
Yeah, there's St. Francis now has to really sit around their bench and get, or I should say, the dressing room with their coaches and get a game plan and come out and stick to it. They're taking chances. It almost cost them a goal a little bit ago. Now they've got to just tighten it up a bit.
And let's go down now with Rick Zurich and the head coach of St. Francis.
Okay, guys, with me, St. Francis coach John Bowers. And coach, this is unfamiliar territory for you, down 3 goals. What's been the problem, you think?
Well, the problem's been the team in the white over there. Really putting a lot of pressure on us, bottling us up, taking away a lot of the things we normally do. It's going to be a challenge to come out the third period and really get something going here. They really dominated us that second period.
Well, Joe's goalie's really come up big with a couple of big saves. Now what do you do down 3 with just 1 period? You open it up a little bit?
Well, you said the key word there is the St. Joe's goaltender. A couple times, you know, we figured we could get to him, and he's come up big for him when we thought we could have changed the momentum of the game a little bit with a goal or two. He come up big for him. More power to him. You know, I just think we got to come out and be more aggressive and throw all caution to the wind. It's not like we're down 1, we're down 3. And I guarantee you this, if we go down, we're going to go down blazing, I'll tell you that.
What are you going to say to the guys now in the locker room?
Well, you know, they know what's at stake. I'm sure they're real disappointed. I just got to convince them that we're not out of it, and, you know, we just got to get 1. Don't worry about getting 3, get 1, try to creep back in it. The one thing we got going for us is we've done it before this year. We've been counted out of a few other games before this year and have come back and win, and I'm hopefully going to tap into that, and hopefully the kids will respond.
Okay, John, good luck to you in the third period. All right. John Bowers, the coach of St. Francis, and Pat Berger, the star of the game right now, the St. Joe's goalie, standing on his head at times and giving Joe's the 4-1 lead. Back to you guys upstairs.
Well, he's got to be a good salesman, Larry, to go into his troops playing the number 1 team and down 4-1.
Well, he does have to be, but I think even by St. Francis' own admission, the players are going to have to say, this is not our best. We can do better than this. And you heard John Bowers talk about just picking away 1 at a time. You don't look at this thing like scoring 3 goals in 10 minutes. You got to score 1 goal at a time. Now, if you score 1, you cut the lead in half. You score another 1, you're only down by 1. You score another 1, you've tied the game. So you just got to do this thing in little increments.
All right, Devers, Majerski, and Gowron, the goal scorers in the second period for St. Joe's. 4-1 St. Joe's after 2 periods, and we'll be back with the third period after this.
It is, but there doesn't have.
Wait a second. It's not Karen, it's Cynthia.
I like my beats funky.
It's Claire.
Me a lumpy. I'm
Digital cable radio, 19 different music channels with CD sound and no commercials for the perfect music, regardless of your passion.
Venus.
Hi.
Digital cable radio. It's cable for your stereo. Call your cable company.
Well, it's 4-1 after 2 periods. They've resurfaced the ice, and now, as you mentioned, St. Francis, Larry, realistically, they have to do it 1 goal at a time and not press. But, you know, if I'm a St. Joe's fan or a St. Joe's player, I'm comfortable. I'm not overconfident, but I'm real comfortable with the way their goaltender's been playing and the way they held this team to 4 goals in the previous 2 games with this lead.
Well, there's no doubt about that. St. Francis knows what they've got to do, but I'll bet you that John Mickler had as tough a time with his team telling them what he wants them to do and make sure that they don't get overconfident and make sure that they don't think they won this game yet. There's still 15 minutes to play yet, and if I were a betting man, I'll bet John Mickler's got himself a handful.
All right, let's go down to Rick Zurich, and he has John Mickler with him.
We talked to John Bowers, the St. Francis coach, said he has to pick it up a little bit. Well, John Mickler, the Joe's coach, you're up 4-1, and a pretty nice situation to be in. What'd you tell your guys at the intermission?
Well, we're really happy right now. The kids are really just working their tails off. They can smell it. They know they're playing for #1 in the state and #1 in the federation. They've really worked hard all year. We can finish with an undefeated season. And the irony, we were concerned about Jason Blodzinski, and right now the star of the game's got to be Pat Berger at our end. He made some big save to turn around. We had one big shift that opened the game up, and we went on and got 22 shots that period. So if we can do the same, we're out. But Frannies won't quit. They're a great hockey team, and we've got to be prepared for that.
You play a little more defensive hockey now, trying to protect that lead?
We're going in.
Yeah. Okay, good luck to you. John Mickler, now make note that's John Mickler, not John Muckler of the Sabres. Back to you guys.
And John Mickler saying as the third period underway, and St. Joe's now going left to right on your screen, that they're going to go after them in the third period, not let up.
Well, you can't have a team say, well, now we're going to sit in a defensive style and see what happens. You got to continue to come at with what got you to where you're at, and that was for them to play a good offensive hockey.
And an opportunity for St. Joe's right off the bat, and Wirth had it steered wide. And when you were in your playing days, Larry, did you have many games when you had a lead like that and went into a defensive shell that you can remember and lost?
Yes, sir, lots of them, and I know it doesn't work that way.
Opportunity, oh, good save. And again, the goaltender, who might be one of the top stars in this game, Pat Berger, not because of the quantity of shots he's faced, but the quality of his stops so far.
Well, there's no question, and even his coach alluded to the fact that they were concerned about Blodzinski, I should say, at the other end, were really the guy that came up with the key saves, most importantly when they needed them, was Berger.
And Blodzinski did all the savings early, but Berger's been the more steady of the two, and that was not an easy save either, as a low shot by Kevin Golder, and the goaltender able to stop it. We'll take a look at the scoring as we had in the second period, and Larry, St. Joe's did most of it. They did all of it.
Well, Devin's the guy that we talked about at the top of the show, got himself a goal, and that was a pretty goal. Kotas and Nadimski scored the first goal to get St. Joe started, and he also comes up with an assist. Majoriski scores another goal, and then the prettiest goal of the night, I think, Garon, probably the one that puts the game really in St. Joe's favor on a nice pass by Richard Crozier.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, that third goal was a big goal because now instead of a one-goal game, it's two. But that fourth goal, that's a backbreaker.
Well, that's really the one that puts St. Joe's in a comfortable situation, and St. Francis had to be, at that point, starting to second-guess themselves.
And St. Francis on the attack had a couple of opportunities here and early in the third period. Crowd a little bit subdued or quiet because of the goal differential at 4-1. Everybody was really expecting a one-goal game all the way, maybe an overtime situation, as close as these two clubs played during the regular season. But St. Joe's had a big second period. There's an opportunity, and it's shot wide there by Richard Crozier, who's had a fine game.
Richard Crozier really has had a fine game. He's played the body well. He's made some key passes. And, he's done everything you can ask a forward to do. He hasn't got caught on any plays. He's been back playing good, strong defensive hockey. You could use 20 of those guys on your team.
Caccianini made a nice stop for St. Joe's, allowing to take the pressure off their defense, and they have possession of the puck now inside the St. Francis end. It's at the point, and the shot is up high by Caccianini. It will go out to center ice. Caccianini will go for it there and just slip it back down the ice. Play will be whistled down with 12:27 to go in regulation, 4-1. At this point, it doesn't look like we'll need the overtime, Larry, but you never know.
Well, and it's got to start real quick, and this is a perfect opportunity for St. Francis to try and pull something off. Here's a face-off in St. Joe's end. They can set it up for a quick shot and maybe crash the net. But now they've got to think about getting something going. Perfect opportunity here with the face-off deep in St. Joe's zone.
And I think it's got to be frustrating if you're a St. Francis player too, knowing that, even if you do get a good scoring opportunity, you've got a hot goaltender at the other end.
Well, and you got to wonder though, if they can sneak one by Berger, that perhaps they get a chance at maybe they crash his confidence enough that they can get a couple more by him. But they're going to have to get one by him soon.
That's true, and it could happen. However, when they scored to tie it, it was the same type of scenario, and he did come up big then.
He came up real big right after that, you're right.
A whistle with 12:06 to go. Interesting that you look at this graphic here, the New York State teams, and our area, the Buffalo area, we have the top 2 teams.
Well,
teams from Rome Free and Messina and Canton, Potsdam.
Well, St. Joe's and St. Francis, certainly in the Buffalo area, have been considered good teams, and now for them to be considered the good teams in the state is just a credence to their system, their schools, but also I think to this varsity federation hockey that's really come a long ways in a very short period of time.
We didn't really talk too much about how the clubs got here, but St. Joe's had an easy time. They defeated Amherst 10-1, and they defeated Williamsville East 10-2, so they had 2 rather easy wins. St. Francis beat Williamsville North 4-1 in one of their games, and the other game, I'll look it up, it was 6-2 over time in St. Francis. And you know, St. Francis won a coin flip because they both ended up 12-0-2 in their Federation League. They flipped the coin, and St. Francis was the #1 seed, so they actually had an easier route per se to the final according to seeding.
Well, and sometimes that makes for a better team when you got a little more adversity to face. You can hone your skills, and certainly St. Joe's, whatever John Mickler's put them through and games they've played, they've taken advantage of it.
An early start, a 9 a.m. game, but the crowd has filed in. Pretty big crowd now. Save. Low shot right on Pat Berger, and he covers up. And now we've got some hitting after the whistle and stop play.
Well, St. Francis, in an effort to get something going, tried to crash the goaltender and knock a loose puck free. In fact, they did. Julio came in, didn't appreciate anybody taking a swat at his goaltender and made no bones about it. That's what you want your players to do if your goaltender's getting bopped around and you want somebody to come in and help him. That's what happened. That's what all this fracas was about.
It looks like they're going to send off Collins, too, and 1 player for St. Francis. So St. Francis will have the power play. Maybe this is the spark they needed.
Well, they have to do something, Walt. I mean, they're sitting here with a 3-goal deficit, and they've got a little over 11 minutes, 30 seconds left. They really do have to get started. Maybe this is the button they had to push.
Well, I stand corrected, though. It looks like they're going to send off 2 for each team. Play 3-on-3, but that will open up the ice space anyways, maybe create some more opportunities out there.
Well, and you know, in defense of the referees, they probably don't want to see this game get out of hand. They know how much it means to both teams. St. Francis being down is the team that's going to try something different to get back in this game. The referees don't want to take a chance of this thing getting out of hand, so they've opted to send a bunch of folks over there to the penalty box.
11:30 time remaining in the game. And St. Joe's riding the 3-goal second period to break a 1-1 tie, leading 4-1. You know, I would imagine this would conclude their season then, too, if they win this game.
This will be it. You know, it was interesting when Mickler's was talking earlier to Rick Zurak, and he said, Zurak asked him, well, are you going to go to a defensive style or are you going to open up? And Mickler didn't even bat an eye. He said, are you kidding? We're going to, keep it going, go after them. And we touched on that for a little bit, but I think it's so important for teams to understand that you can't just, all right, get a lead and then back away from it and hang on to it. You have to continue to play and keep things going the way they are. What's going to happen, and we talked about it earlier, St. Francis is going to try and they're going to have to take some risks and open up the ice a bit. And if St. Joe's just continues to play the way they have, they're going to get a few more opportunities they otherwise wouldn't get, because St. Francis is now, when I say open up the ice, they're going to have to start sending up another defenseman to make it a 4-on-1 and leave a guy back. Stuff like that they're going to have to start doing very soon.
Well, the other pairings in the club level, the Lancaster Varsity Club will be taking on North Tonawanda. Orchard Park will be playing against the St. Francis South Towns Varsity. And Hutch Tech will take on Riverside. Now they're trying to decipher all of this, Larry. Let's take a look at the past finalists from last year. These are the teams that made it: McKinley and Traditional, Depew and Lockport, Frontier, West Seneca East, Time and St. Joe's. That was in 1991. So since they started this Super Sunday deal here at the Aud, all the kids love playing at the Aud, similar to, like, I had some kids in the baseball that played at Pilot Field. You play at a big facility, the kids love it.
Well, and so we certainly would have to give the city of Buffalo some thanks for allowing them to use the building, and also the Buffalo Sabres, who have to bring some extra support staff and security people to make this happen. Later later on today, the Buffalo Sabres, after all these games are done, play the Winnipeg Jets. So this is a full day for these folks. And let's go back down. There's Rick Zurek down there with a few comments.
Well, guys, we'll give you a family update on St. Francis because 3 years ago, the captain of St. Francis was Chris D'Antonio, and his team won here at the Memorial Auditorium. Well, right now, St. Francis' captain is his brother, Mark D'Antonio, who won a state championship, or actually won this championship here at the Aud last year. Now, Mark D'Antonio trying to make it 2 and outdo his brother Chris, but right now, St. Francis down 4-1. They need some help. If they get a power play here, could get back into it. We'll wait and see. Back up to you.
Last year, the St. Francis team won in overtime 3-2 against St. Joe's in this same game. So this is a revenge game for St. Joe's in the Western New York Varsity Federation Championship game. The other ones, just to clarify it here, as I have the Buffalo Evening News also in front of me, the Western New York club battle will be between Lancaster and North Tonawanda. The Southtowns club title will be between St. Francis and Orchard Park. And the Explorer Club crown will be between Riverside and Hutch Tech. There's the power play opportunities, and St. Francis has scored 1 out of 2. I don't know if we're getting all of this, but we've had some misconduct penalties also.
Again, I think just the reaction by the referees to say, guys, we're not going to allow this thing to get out of hand. We realize what it means to everybody, but we're not going to let it be a big schmozzle. And then they did that very quickly. And typically when that happens, that diffuses anything else that might be coming out of the game. St. Francis certainly has to try and do something, and they tried. Now we'll have to wait and see what the effects will be.
Well, a long delay in the action. They decipher everything. They're going to end up.
Well, St. Joe's gets the power play. And
yeah, that's crazy. Now, with the 4-1 lead, they get the power play, too, so they came out of it ahead.
It certainly did. Well, it all goes back to St. Francis trying to crash the goaltender and make something happen.
All right, St. Joe's with the power play advantage. Number 4, Thomas Buckley, one of their top players, trying to bring it up from his own zone. Buckley pass a little bit behind Toole, and he'll go cross ice. Off of Buckley, the goaltender, Budzinski will steer it to the corner. Buckley went down heavily there, and he's covered up by a couple of St. Francis Red Raiders. So now we'll have a face-off with 10:52 to go in this game.
Again, the face-off being deep in St. Francis and with the St. Joe's on the power play, they have the opportunity not only with the extra guy, but they have the face-off right where they want it. They can set up and try and get a shot away. And then I no sooner say that, partner, and they move this thing out to the outside of the face-off spot. Outside the blue line, I should say, to the face-off spot.
Well, everything favoring St. Joe's. They've got 1:22 on the power play. They're nursing a 3-goal lead, and pretty tough to score when you're shorthanded for St. Francis or any hockey team. The advantage to the team with the extra attacker. Buckley is ridden off the play. Comes out over the blue line. St. Joe's just content to hold it against the boards with St. Francis and see if somebody could free it up. They finally do, and Buckley has it. It comes out across the blue line. It's intercepted by St. Francis. Number 18, Teff, taken into the boards. He's ridden off the play. Deflected there. By 10, Kenny Golder of St. Francis back into the St. Joe's end. Gowan, number 7, had it stolen. Gowan battling along the boards. Gowan has a goal. He is tying up the St. Francis player against the boards. The puck held for a long time, and now it's whistled down with 9:58 to go. They held that puck there a long time.
Before the whistle finally went, you're right. Well, the penalty is finally over. You know, this league that includes the Williamsville teams and the Catholic schools has, for the longest time, been kind of one-sided. But now, the last couple of years, the Amherst and Williamsville teams have started to bode a little better, and it's only because of the commitment they've been getting from their schools. And St. Francis and St. Joe's not only are the best in this league, but also the best in the state. So it's certainly nothing for the Williamsville schools to hang their heads about. But more congratulations for coming as far as they have in such a short period of time.
It's so difficult sometimes to understand, but the Western New York Varsity Hockey Federation is the only sanctioned high school league. And the 8 teams that compete are St. Joe's, St. Francis, Williamsville East, Williamsville North, Canisius, Williamsville South, Amherst, and Bishop Time. And the other leagues are club level leagues. They're not sanctioned. It's steered off by the goaltender Brudzinski and then shot down the ice. And it's a great effort by the club levels just to field teams and uniforms, get the ice time and coaches, and get the kids out to play.
No question.
St. Joe's in command, leading 4-1. 9:10 to go. There's a pretty heavy hit. Number 25, Ryan Shanahan for St. Francis. He's been all over the ice for St. Francis. But to no avail as they're down 4-1. Adamski drops it back to number 10, Kanchanecki.
Well, we're going to have an icing call coming up here. And, you know, Bludzinski has not been tested that much this third period. Certainly not as much as he was tested in the second. Probably the second was his toughest period. And he faced quite a few shots, but that's also when St. Joe's really turned it up a notch.
Kevin Golder for St. Francis. The time winding down with only 8:54 to go. The season about to come to a close for St. Francis, and if they would lose this game, they would probably give up that number 2 spot back to Rome, being since Rome was rated in front of them and just lost yesterday. This would put them both into a situation where they were rated 2 and 3, with Rome 2 and St. Francis 3, and each losing one time. I would imagine Rome would go back to that spot.
You'd wonder, except for the fact that St. Francis lost to the best team.
Well, that's true.
St. Joe's.
St. Francis would love to at least get a goal and make a game out of this to close the gap a little bit. They're down 4-1. St. Joe's, Chad Spear, Bernas. That's Adamski, and it's shot wide. Number 9, or Brady. Well, I don't have a 9 listed. St. Francis. Now they're hitting.
Well, we sort of expected this, Walt, that the hitting would start to pick up and maybe a little bit of chippy hockey. There will come a time when St. Francis will realize that, hey, it's not worth it. We're probably not going to be able to get back in this game, but they're going to have to try and manufacture a goal here real quick. And I've said that for the last 4 minutes and nothing's happened, so.
Andy Dibb was number 9, the player that I missed, didn't have him on my roster. He has entered the game for St. Francis, getting some ice time. 7:37 remaining in the game.
And St. Joe's, even though Coach Mickler didn't want them or said they weren't going to continue to score goals, they've really settled into a good defensive posture, and St. Francis is just having a whale of a time even getting over the blue line to get a good shot away. The St. Joe's folks have made a concentrated effort of getting back and helping out their defense men and the goaltenders, and boy, when you've got a combination like that, it's going to be tough to beat.
I was going to say that to you, but I didn't want to sound foolish. I said, boy, for a team that was going to come out and go after them, they look like they're holding back a little bit. The third period doesn't look like the first 2 periods to me.
I think it's probably just a natural reaction of saying, look, we've got things in pretty good control here. Let's take what we can get. If they give us a breakaway or start making bad passes, let's run with it. But if they're going to try and come after us, let's just see if we can't hold the fort here.
They had a shot there. Radchuk, who has the only goal for St. Francis, had an opportunity, and here's a breakout. But able to get to it first is Coleman for St. Francis. Right on the goaltender, Jason Bludzinski, who's finishing a fine career at St. Francis. 7:06 to go. And as a player, Larry, talking to other players as you went throughout the National Hockey League seasons, did you feel that way? Even though subconsciously the coach is telling you press on, that we've got a 3-goal lead, we've got a 4-goal lead.
I think it's a psychological thing from the coaches that they'll say, look, guys, we don't have to change anything. Let's keep going the way we're going, and versus the coach saying, okay, we've got the lead. Let's sit back and hang on to it. You want the guys to keep thinking that if they get the opportunity to go, they can go. You don't want to harness them. You want to allow them to be able to play, but you also want them to at least have the notion that where they are in the game, they're up by, in this situation, 3 goals, and they don't have to do anything foolish. They don't have to manufacture any goals. All they've got to do is hang on to this lead.
Well, it seems so slow, the goals in between, but it does happen fast sometimes in hockey.
Sure does.
Right on, Brzezinski makes the save. Down to 6:35 remaining, and a glove save that would have been wide anyway. No, but Blinsky throwing a little shot to Worth, and then Worth and a couple of the St. Francis players. I saw Bludzinski go out of his way to give him a little nudge after the save.
Well, he made the save. He came across the other side of the net. Worth was there. Now, Worth took a whack at his glove hand to knock the puck out of it. And that's when Bludzinski got upset about it, and you can't blame the guy. In fact, we're going to get a chance to see it here. And if you watch the shot comes in, it's almost a harmless shot. But as Bludzinski makes a save, he comes across, and there's Worth, who took a whack at his glove hand to knock out the puck. His defensemen are there, and they're saying, hey, wait a minute, we don't want you doing that.
Yeah, I didn't see the first one. Similar to a lot of times the officials catches the second guy. And probably one of the most glaring, there's your saves, 31 St. Francis, 16 for Joe's. Glaring momentum building games ever witnessed was that Houston Buffalo Bills football game, when one team just gets the momentum, captures it from another team, and it just doesn't stop.
Well, and you never know what does it take in a game for that to happen. I mean, I recall way back when Buffalo Sabres in this exact rink were down to the Boston Bruins by, I believe it was 5 goals. I think the score was 6-1, and the Sabres came back in the third period and ended up winning the game. And you don't know when that's going to happen. It can happen with a simple thing like just happened here when everybody stands up for their own goaltender. However, the way the game has gone so far, you'd have to guess that certainly momentum has not changed, and St. Joe's still has it.
No, I don't think so. Like you said, you never know, and it could happen even in this game. But given the way the goaltender's been playing, Pat Berger, it's tough enough to beat him for one more goal in this game, let alone 3.
Bludzinski, I don't recall what the shots were. They were almost 2-1. Bludzinski certainly has nothing to hang his head about. He's had a good, strong game, has made some key saves, a couple of them. Maybe the one that snuck through him was the goal that maybe broke the camel's back, but the next goal for sure was, because that was the goal that he had no help on, and it was the 4th goal. It makes it almost a tough thing to come back from.
Yeah, we're talking the first goal that you said, the third one, Majerski's goal that snuck through the side post. Maybe that was a stoppable one for him.
But if I was going to fault him on any goal, that would be the only one. And the guy's made so many key saves since then that it's hard to even fault him on anything.
Bob Albano working with Gary Panik. Teft has left the ice. Worth has left the ice.
Well, Worth was the guy that really started that just out of a bit of frustration, I suppose, or wanting to get the puck down so we can get a shot at it, but he's gone nevertheless.
Well, we'll go down to Rick Zurek for this report.
Well, guys, both teams came into this game tournament tested. St. Joe's won 3 tournaments this year. They won the Cranbrook tournament, they won the Batavia tournament, and they won the Salmon River tournament. Well, right now they're 6 minutes and 36 seconds away from winning a big tournament here called the Western New York Varsity Federation Tournament, but they're also going to win a state championship. Back to you guys.
6:36 to go.
And that's something that these guys strive all season long for, to be able to call themselves state champions, and you can bet that's going to be a great, great feeling.
Number 18, Mike Teff.
A lot of good hockey being played in Western New York. Not only at this level, too. In Western New York, what has really picked up is like the midgets and the bantams and things like that over the years. Well, starting these kids at a young age.
The quality of hockey is picked up well, but the quality of the coaches, the people spending the time, the equipment, it's all gotten better in Western New York, and we're seeing dividends. We're seeing players playing better quality hockey, plus we're seeing some folks in the National Hockey League because of it.
Here's a chance. And ridden off the play, number 10, Goldard. We did a game for this company. Shot. Oh, right on, score! Number 25, Ryan Shanahan, and hey, you never know, it's 4-2.
Well, I'll tell you what, a big shot comes in from the blue line, and Shanahan was right in front of the net. Nobody picked him up. He picks up the rebound and slammed it home, but the most important part of that was that Shanahan made the effort to go to the front of the net. That's where the rebound was. He was able to pick it up. He was able to score the goal past Berger. Here's the shot coming in from the blue line. Berger makes the initial save, which is so key, so important. He makes the initial save, but he can't get to the rebound. He shouldn't have to. That should be a defenseman there to pick up the incoming St. Francis player. Now this gets a little bit more interesting here. St. Francis has cut the lead in half. It's 4-2 for St. Joe's. And if my memory serves me correctly, something like this happened last year.
And a 4-2 game with still 6:17 remaining in regulation, so there is plenty of time to mount a comeback. I was going to talk about we did a game for this cable company, 8 and 9-year-olds in the North Tonawanda Championship that had 2 teams from outside this area, and the kids were just unbelievable for that age. Shanahan on the goal, getting the announcement.
Kevin Golder. Number 11, Mark
D'Antonio and Golder on the assist. Number 11, D'Antonio, who just got the assist, falls on the puck, and now some late hits.
Well, D'Antonio recognized that there was some trouble. He'd lost his stick. There was a puck down right in front of him, close enough for him to jump on. Typically, that's a penalty. He's going to get away with it. He goes back to pick up his stick, but he's the guy that took the shot from the blue line, and the key shot it was.
5:53 time remaining. St. Francis has got the second goal on the scoreboard to make it a 4-2 game. Now this faceoff will come to the left of their goaltender, Blodzinski. St. Joe's, and here comes St. Francis with the loose puck, a 2-on-2, and an offside.
Well, St. Francis has gotten a little bit more confidence. They've still got 5:42 left in this game now. It's going to be very important for them to get another goal quickly. And then they can do a lot of things. Then they can pull their goaltender. They can get creative. But the most important thing for them is to get one more goal. St. Joe's, on the other hand, has to be questioning some things now. Do we have enough to hang on to this St. Francis team? They've played them twice before. They know they ended up in ties. They know this is a good squad they're playing against.
Well, they had a shot there, and then that little offside called. And an opportunity for a 2-on-2, but St. Francis pressing on now. They come up with a loose puck. Here's an opportunity right in front. Good job by the defenseman to clear it out. Number 17, Johnny on the spot there. Well, that's actually the winger, Devers, their top player. He was right there, and he took the pressure off, Larry. That blind pass, if somebody's there in red, they got a chance for a goal.
Absolutely.
St. Francis with 5:14 to go in the game. They're pressing now. They're all over St. Joe's. They feel a little bit of momentum swing. Right on, hit the side post. Number 9, Deb, getting time here late in the game. On the ice, and it got by Colleran. Over the blue line, over center ice. Kotas has a man on the wing, and a good stop there by Antonio to break up that play. The Red Raiders can't get out of their own end. Flip to the blue line. And here comes St. Francis busting out 3-on-3. And an offside call. Number 10 was offside there. Golder.
Well, St. Francis is in a position now where this could be the final 4:32 of their season, and it will be. They've got to, John Bowers has got to pick his 7 or 8 best players, and he's going to have to start double shifting some guys. He's already started to do that with D'Antonio. He's going to have to get his best guys back on the ice as often as he can, and like you said, mount an attack.
Well, they would like to at least get within 1 so they could pull the goaltender, then have a legitimate shot for a tie for overtime.
Absolutely.
4:30 to go. It's fanned on by the St. Joe's player, but they do pick it up, poke it into the St. Francis end. Blodzinski steers it to Radchuk, who has a goal, one of the 2 for St. Francis. Radchuk flips it out to center ice. Going in on the left wing and taking off the play, Shanahan, who has the other goal for St. Francis. They've played well. Chris Obstarzik has played well. 4-2 St. Joe's, 4 minutes remaining. Now the time working against the Red Raiders, Larry, and they've got to do something quick.
Well, and give them credit. They certainly have picked it up a notch, and they're trying to get into St. Joe's end and get something going, and they've had a couple opportunities. They've scored on one, so they're doing everything at this point that they have to do.
Well, it came out, unfortunately, over center ice. The offside was waved off, and they did have it in the blue line of St. Joe's, but now it's back to the St. Joe's line. And near center ice, Shanahan flips it back into the St. Joe's zone. Number 3 will go for it, Mike Murphy. Murphy around the boards. It will be intercepted by Obstarzik. Now taken away by Kacianetti. Kacianetti could pass up to Majerski, who has a goal for St. Joe's. This is a 3-on-1, and the shot that's whistled wide by Richard Crozier, who had a great opportunity there. Back the other way, number 16, Chris Obstarzik, a very good skater. Lost control of the puck, and again, they're offside. Well, they've had trouble staying onside here the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, that can be a killer when the team comes up with the puck and comes down the ice. and they've got a good attack going, some speed, and then if somebody gets ahead of the puck, it's a big break in this case for St. Joe's, and St. Franny's is just wondering what the heck did we do wrong? Why did we have to go to another offside?
Now 3:07 to go, 4-2, and Larry, you had mentioned to me that you'll be working the radio on the Sabres game tonight. The Sabres are starting to pick up the pace in the National Hockey League too. They look like they've got a legitimate shot this year to do something in the playoffs.
Well, they're really going to have to pick it up a bit more than they have. They struggled the last few games, but again, they've got some time to turn it around.
Well, they've got the key ingredients now. A good goaltender. Back the other way. Good job. Blazinski comes out of the net. St. Francis with 2:40 to go. They'd love to at least make a run here. They're down 2 goals. Get that 3rd goal and put the pressure on St. Joe's. But St. Joe's a very solid team. There's a chance, and it almost got through the pads of Starzyk. Had the backhander. Wasn't a real strong backhander, but it almost got through there.
Well, those are the shots that you want. First of all, you want to take as many shots as you can. It doesn't matter how or when. And when you do take them, those are the ones, the weak little flippers that can sometimes bounce off the ice funny, hit somebody's stick, handcuff the goaltender. But most importantly, you just want to take lots of shots. Now, 2:21 left. You got to figure John Bowers is going to be considering maybe giving his goaltender the hook here. Not because he's had a bad night, or bad day, because he certainly hasn't, but because he needs one more attacker out there to try and get himself another goal.
2:20 remaining in the game. Tough break for St. Francis is that no, they kept it in. A good job there. A heavy hit by Buckley on Radchik, and now it comes to center ice. Radchik taking another hit. St. Joe's, all they have to do is keep it in that end, and they're in great shape. 2 minutes to go. Color cup to Buckley. Sandwiched along the corner boards. Buckley held against the boards now by Kenderosa. A lot of time going off that clock. 1:40 to go. They've held it there for 15 seconds. 1:35 to go. That's incredible, Larry. How long can you hold it there? They knocked off almost 30 seconds off the clock. 1:30 to go.
And this is a good play by Buckley. He's a big guy, and everybody's working him over, but he's keeping the puck between himself and the boards in his skates and moving it along so the referee does not and should not blow the whistle. He's been moving it along and ate some time up on the clock, and that's what St. Joe's needs.
1:15 to go. The shot is knocked down on a good defensive effort by Chris Roswell of St. Francis, and Roswell has the loose puck, gives it up to his teammate Shanahan. Shanahan on the right wing drops it back for Wisniewski. Wisniewski taking off the play. Final minute of play. Looks like St. Joe's is going to be your champs, the #1 team in New York State. 50 seconds to go. 15, Chad Spear takes his shot, and that was right on and steered away by the goaltender, Pat Berger. Well, they had their chance to score! Holy cow! Chris Starzyk out of nowhere, 34 seconds to go, and how about this, Larry? It's 4-3.
Well, now you got to wonder if perhaps this thing may be a little bit too little, too late. St. Francis is going to be wondering if they could have just done that about 30 seconds earlier, then they'd have a whole minute to work with, but it certainly is not over until it's over, and with 34 seconds left in this game, you can bet John Bowers will now be pulling his goaltender. Our Starzyk takes a great shot, beats Berger between the legs, and what looked like a game almost being over now has a little bit of life in it.
It's incredible.
Here's the shot of Starzyk. Got the puck low in the bottom, right near the bottom of the circle, and took a shot. He had a guy open he could have passed the puck to, but he wisely took the shot, beat Berger between the legs.
You know, with 34.8 seconds, they didn't even pull the goaltender yet. In fact, I'm surprised he's going back out there, unless they want to make sure they get possession. But 34 seconds, not too much time to work with. There's your time, 34.8 seconds. And the goaltender, are you surprised by this? He's back.
I am, only because perhaps there's a reason they can't, but I'm surprised because you can always put if you're worried about losing the faceoff, you can always put your extra attacker out deeper in the zone to make him be a potential goaltender.
Yeah, well, they've got to win the faceoff then, in the view of the coach, Coach Bowers, and then he's got to skate off the ice. That's got to take 5 seconds or so. He's saying, no problem, I'll get there.
Yep, he's already indicated he's going to pull him, and he's already waved to him, and then so everybody's copacetic. It's just when's it going to happen? And I agree with you, Walt. If I'm John Bowers, I pull the goaltender, and guess what? He must
He's
have been
coming off
listening to
now.
us.
Now, it seemed like the obvious move. Doesn't matter if the other team scores. You can't win unless you score.
I think Rick Zurak's down there waiting for us. Let's let him have
Okay, let's go down to Rick.
Well, guys, St. Francis coach John Bowers just told his team, plain and simple, I want a goal. He's going to put 4 men up front. The goalie's on the bench. He's going to go all out, push everybody forward, go all over the blue line, nobody back, get them all out there, and hopefully it'll pay off. Back up to you.
And here we go, 31 seconds now. St. Francis last gas. They have to get the puck up ice, and they're hemmed in their own zone and play whistle down with 24 seconds to go.
You know, really they catch another break here. Rather than going all the way back in their end and setting up, they get the opportunity of having a face-off. Now, what Bowers has done is lined his 4 forwards up straight across the line, and what he can do then is have somebody on the far side of the rink, and that guy be the guy that ultimately gets a pass from the defenseman. So they're in pretty good shape.
Well, a great comeback by St. Francis to make a game of it late. 4-3 count. They've got the face-off. And St. Francis will try and push it up ice. Radchik. Stolen by St. Joe's. Shot. Score! And that will seal it. Thomas Devers, their leading scorer, with the empty netter.
Well, he was just in the right place at the right time. And you know that St. Francis has to push and has to take a risk and try something that's a little risque. They did. Fortunately for St. Joe's, they were in the right place at the right time, and their captain picked up a loose puck and drilled it home for the 5th goal. That was 5-3, 15 seconds left. Good season by both teams. They both had good quality season. He was just in the right place at the right time. And the puck, they tried to make a pass back across the rink. He was able to pick it off. And you notice when he went to shoot it towards the net, he really took his time, lined himself up to make sure that this one was going in. He wanted to take all the pressure off his teammates.
Thomas Devens. In your career, Larry, did you get any empty netters?
Never did.
No?
They never let me on the ice.
It's got to be a great feeling to see the wide open net. Pretty easy goal. When you look at the stat sheet or go for contracts or that, they don't say empty netters. It just says goal.
Excuse me, whenever I shot the puck, the net didn't look big enough for that puck to go into.
Or your defenseman. Defense first.
Yeah, there you go.
10.6 seconds to go. Credit St. Francis with a fine comeback to make a game of it when it looked like they had no shot at all.
And you know, John Bowers and his entire coaching staff and his team for having a good, solid season, as well as John Mickler. I think we can congratulate him now on a strong season, and fine job by his coaching staff and his teammates.
Well, both goaltenders played well. Pat Berger will be the winner. Lodzinski has a check with under a second to go. Lodzinski will be the loser, and they have 0.9 seconds on the clock, but the St. Joe's team celebrating already.
Well, if Starzak is going to get the penalty for checking from behind, actually a pretty vicious check. But you're right, with just 0.9 seconds left in the game, you wonder what's up. The St. Joe's boys jumped over and went and almost broke Berger's back as they jumped on him. Now they all got to come back off and wait for one more quick face-off.
Number 16, Chris Starchek, been in the hand of check from behind.
Now they'll just drop the puck, and that will be it, Larry. A lot of fun working with you. You do an excellent job, and pretty good brand of hockey, would you say? I mean, I'm not that familiar with this age group or hockey in general or Western New York, but this is the first game I've done this year or seen. It looks like a pretty good brand.
It is a good brand of hockey, and these guys, like I said, they've come a long ways in this league, and they do show a good brand of hockey, and we've already talked about how well this team has done this year. And just for a bit earlier for the folks that our apologies for technical difficulties. Those things can happen now and then, and certainly by no intention of our own.
And there it is. St. Joe's, gloves flying, sticks flying, and they're the champs.
Well, deserving bunch of guys to be champs, too. They had a good season, coached by a couple of good guys, actually 3 of them. And Pat Murphy is also one, Craig Saplinski is the other, and John Mickler, the head coach. But our hats go off to the bunch from St. Francis, who had a strong, strong season and came back to make a game of this one, too.
I'd like to be the guy on the bottom there.
No, sir.
The goaltender.
That's a goal. That's how smart guys that are going to West Point end up in the bottom of the pile.
See, it hurt more with the post-game celebration than during the game. Well, the final score, 5-3. The final St. Joe's the champion, winning this game 5-3, and they led it 4-1 going into the last period. St. Francis picked up 2 goals and made it 4-3, and then the final 5-3. All right, 5-3, and Rick Zurich is down on the ice, and he's going to talk to head coach Johnny Mickler.
Well, guys, John Mickler, the winning coach here, and Coach, how sweet is this?
It feels great. It's been a long season, and it feels great. And all credit to St. Francis. They came out, they played us tough. They really made a game 4-3, and fortunately we got the open net goal, but we got into some penalty trouble, which has not been our game all year. We've been pretty free of that. We got into some late penalty trouble. It almost cost us a game.
Not only is this a federation title, it's a state championship, and that has to be especially sweet.
It's not officially the state championship, but when the number 1 and 2 teams are playing today, and the others will get to Utica next week, it does feel like a state championship. We're pretty happy.
Okay, Coach, congratulations. All right, guys, back up to you. We'll talk to the MVP, Pat Berger, in just a minute.
We're going to have the goaltender, Berger, who was named the MVP, and deservedly so for some of the difficult stops that he made.
Well, absolutely, Berger, the right guy to be the MVP. He's the guy that when St. Francis got a couple of opportunities after they hadn't had any shots for a while, he made the big save, kept St. Joe's in the game, and ultimately went on to keep them in the game, and they ended up winning the game. Here, the St. Francis teams are all getting their medals, and as they're being called out one by one, and the St. Joe's teams are, St. Joe's players are all congratulating each other.
Well, Rick Zurich's hustling out there, and he has our MVP of the game, the winning goaltender. And let's go down to Rick now.
Well, Pat Berger is 6'2". You can see he's a little taller than I am. And boy, you sure came up big today. Tell me about this feeling.
Yeah, it was nice to get a little revenge. They beat us last year in overtime. It was a really tough game. They have a great goalie, Jason Blodzinski. It was nice to finally beat him.
You came up big early in the game, especially. They got to you a little bit late with a little pressure. What were you thinking down the stretch?
I just didn't want to give them that tying goal at the end. We've worked so hard for this. We've worked all year, and I didn't want to blow it at the end.
What about being a state champion? Because really, that's what this comes down to. Can you describe that feeling?
It feels great, to be first in the league, let alone first in the state. It's just great.
All right. Yeah, congratulations to you, man. Enjoy it. All right. Pat Berger, the MVP of the St. Joe Marauders. They win it, and it's a state championship, guys. I don't care what anybody says. 4-3 the final.
Well, they got the empty netter too, so ends up 5-3. But the point with Berger, nice transition when you see a kid going from the high school to the college level. Still a nice young kid talking on the interview. Didn't want to blow it. He certainly didn't blow it. Now he's going on to Notre Dame.
And he'll, I'm sure, have a good, solid career, and we wish him all the best up there.
We're going to be closing with our post-game comments, but first let's take a look at the third period scoring, and St. Francis got right back in this game late.
Well, Shanahan got a nice goal early, not quite early enough, but a nice goal early. Then comes back up. Starzyk gets the goal with like 34 seconds left, and it's just unfortunate because had they been able to turn it up a notch, they would probably have been able to win a game for themselves, or at least tie it. But then the one that really put the nail in the coffin was Devines gets his unassisted goal in the empty net, and that sort of sealed it.
And there's your stars. Thomas Devines, the third star. Richard Crozier, the second star. First star, Pat Berger. Well, Larry, a lot of fun working with you. Good luck with your career with the Sabres on the radio and the broadcast and that, and maybe the Sabres will do a little damage in the playoffs this year.
Let's hope they do.
At least give you a little bit more road mileage and get to that second round and maybe pass that.
Thank you very much. And
okay.
St. Joe's are just cruising around the ice now with their trophy, and a well-deserved one.
All right, for Larry Playfair and for Rick Zurich, this is Walt Sears bidding you so long from Buffalo's Memorial Auditorium, where once again the final score in the Varsity Federation Hockey Championship game was the St. Joe's Marauders 5 and the St. Francis Red Raiders 3. With the win, St. Joe's is crowned the #1 team in New York State. Have a good night, everyone.